Introduction. Welcome to the Midnight Library. Imagine just for a moment that at the cusp between life and death, you find yourself in a magical library. Shelves stretch as far as the eye can see. Every book on those shelves is a story of your life, but not just the life you've lived. Each book offers a glimpse into another version of your life, shaped by every decision you might have made differently. What if you could try out these alternate lives? Would you find happiness, or would you discover something even more important? This is the world Matt Haig invites us into. Meet Nora Seed, a life full of regret. Nora Seed is our guide through the Midnight Library. At the start of her story, Nora feels lost. She's 35, living in a small English town, and weighed down by regrets. She's lost her job, her cat has died, she's estranged from her brother, and she feels like she's let down everyone she's ever cared about, including herself. Nora's regrets pile up like heavy stones in her backpack. She wonders, what if I had made different choices? What if I had stuck with my swimming career? What if I'd married my ex-boyfriend? What if I'd moved to Australia with my best friend? These what-ifs haunt her, making her life seem small and meaningless. When time stands still, entering the Midnight Library. One night, overwhelmed by sadness and regret, Nora ... decides she can't go on. But instead of the end, Nora wakes up in the Midnight Library, a magical place that exists between life and death. The library is run by Mrs. Elm, Nora's kind childhood librarian. Mrs. Elm explains, between life and death, there is a library, and within that library, the shelves go on forever. Every book provides a chance to try another life you could have lived. Nora is given a unique opportunity to explore all the possible lives she could have lived, if only she'd made different choices. Each time she opens a book, she's transported into a different version of her own life. The Book of Regrets, turning pages of the past. Before Nora begins her journey, Mrs. Elm hands her a heavy volume called The Book of Regrets. It's filled with every big and small regret Nora's ever had. It's a reminder of how regrets can weigh us down, cloud our vision, and keep us stuck. But the Midnight Library offers Nora a way to confront those regrets head-on. She can step into any life, try it on for size, and see whether the grass really is greener on the other side. Trying on lives. The many Noras. Nora's journey is a bit like trying on clothes in a changing room. She slips into each new life and sees how it feels. Some lives fit better than others. Some are beautiful but uncomfortable, like a fancy dress that looks great but pinches at the seams. Others feel almost right, but something's always missing. Let's peek into a few of the lives Nora tries. The Olympic swimmer. In one life, Nora is a famous swimmer. She's won medals, graced magazine covers, and made her father proud. But the pressure is enormous, and her relationships are strained. Success doesn't guarantee happiness. The rock star. In another life, Nora is in a successful band with her brother. They're living the dream, touring the world. But fame brings its own problems, and she realizes that her brother has struggles she never noticed before. The Globetrotter. Nora moves to Australia with her best friend. Adventure abounds, but their friendship still faces challenges. The happy wife. Nora marries her ex-boyfriend. At first, it seems perfect. But even here, problems arise. Her husband isn't the man she imagined, and the life isn't as fulfilling as she hoped. Each time Nora enters a new life, she brings with her the lessons and regrets from her root life. She discovers that every life, no matter how glamorous or exciting, comes with its own set of challenges. There's no perfect life, no escape from pain or disappointment. The wisdom of Mrs. Elm, guidance in the stacks. Throughout her journey, Mrs. Elm is there to guide Nora. She's a steady, comforting presence, offering wisdom and warmth. Mrs. Elm reminds Nora and us that life is made up of choices, but it's also made up of possibilities. The future isn't fixed. It's shaped by what we do next. Mrs. Elm's advice is simple but profound. Never underestimate the big importance of small things. Sometimes the smallest decisions, helping a neighbor, forgiving ourselves, saying yes to a new opportunity, can change the course of our lives. Facing regret, finding acceptance. As Nora explores more and more lives, she begins to see a pattern. No life is completely free from pain, regret, or disappointment. Even in the best lives, there are moments of sadness and loss. But Nora also discovers something amazing. In every life, there are moments of joy, connection, and meaning. She finds herself making a difference in small ways, teaching a child to play the piano, comforting a friend, saving someone's life. These moments matter just as much, if not more, than any achievement or success. Nora realizes that regret is a natural part of being human. We all wonder what if at some point, but living in the past, weighed down by regrets, keeps us from appreciating the life we have right now. The power of choice, writing your own story. The core lesson of the Midnight Library is this: we are the authors of our own stories. Every day, we make choices, some big, some small, that shape our lives. We can't change the past, but we can choose what to do next. Nora learns that the meaning of life isn't about finding the one perfect path. It's about embracing possibility, being present, and making the most of the life you're living right now. She discovers that even small acts of kindness, moments of courage, and connections with others can create a life worth living. The past doesn't define us. Our choices in this moment do. Coming back to life, a new beginning. After trying on countless lives, Nora faces a choice. Will she stay in one of these alternate lives or return to her original life with all its imperfections? Nora chooses to return. She wakes up in her own life, grateful for another chance. She makes amends with her brother, reconnects with friends, and begins to see her life through new eyes. Her regrets haven't disappeared, but they no longer control her. She understands now that every life has its ups and downs, but meaning is found in the living, not in chasing after perfect possibilities. Wrap up what the Midnight Library teaches us. So, what can we take away from the Midnight Library? Regret is part of being human, but it doesn't have to define us. Every life has hardships, but also moments of joy and meaning. We are not trapped by our past choices. We can always make new ones. The present moment is where we find possibility, hope, and connection. As Mrs. Elm says, you don't have to understand life. You just have to live it. So, next time you find yourself wondering, what if? Remember Nora Seed and the Midnight Library. Maybe the life you're living, with all its imperfections, is more precious than you realize. Thank you for listening.